Right, today on Pidini doing stuff and filming it. Extension cables. Actually for real this time. But no, there's a reason for this. Now, this is, I can't remember how long I've had this. A good long time, at least a good few years. It's fairly simple, 2-socket extension reel, 10 meters. I've had it a while. The problem I'm having with it now is it's quite unreliable. This socket doesn't work. And this one barely works. You plug something into it and you have to sort of jiggle it around, and if you push it all the way in, it doesn't work at all, so you have to sort of pull it out by about half a centimetre to a centimetre and sort of angle it properly before you get any power out of it. It's not ideal. I mean, from a reliability point of view, if I'm trying to charge a car battery, I need this to stay on, not just be on for 10 minutes then cut out. Also, there's something not quite, doesn't quite sit right about having your socket halfway out. It's not very good from a safety point of view. Also, we don't know what's going on inside here. If something is shorting out, that's less than ideal. Now, it does have the cutout, but that's a thermal cutout. I don't know if it necessarily works as a fuse. The plug is fused, but so yeah, what we're gonna do, we're gonna crack it open. Like I say, it's old and it's not really any use to me at the moment anyway. We'll crack it open, have a look inside. I'm curious to see what's in here. There may be something interesting about it. It's not just going to be wired up like a simple socket, because this whole thing spins. So there must be some sort of fancy connection that allows it to do that without just breaking up, although evidently it has already broken up. But yeah, we'll have a look, see what it looks like inside. If we can fix it, then we will. Or should I say, if we can fix it safely, then we will. If not, then we can reuse the plug and the cable for something else. Because, I mean, the wire is still okay. It's just this plastic bit in the middle. So what I might do is just go out and buy a double socket, probably also from Wilko, and we'll just wire it up so it's a fixed extension lead rather than a cassette reel. So yeah, let's get it cracked open and see what's inside. Let's see, so we'll start, let's unspool it. This has become increasingly difficult to unwind and rewind over time as well. And if you look here, look, it's coming apart as we're unspooling it, so clearly something's not right. There we come. That's all the way out. Okay, now there's no screws or anything on the back of it, or anywhere for that matter. So I get the feeling this black piece is just pressed into this red piece. If we pull it, it will probably come apart. Okay. Looks to be screws inside it. Of course there is. Let's just pull it open, shall we? Come on. Oh, that is tough. I'm trying to see what's holding them together. It doesn't look to be anything. It looks to be attached. Probably behind this little label is where they're two attached together. It's just a matter of prizing them open. It may have to be a brute force jobby. Oh. Let's try twisting it as we do it, shall we? Well, points to Wilko. That is quite a durable product. So I don't think we're going to be putting this back together once I'm done with it. I need something to prize this with. One moment, caller. Oh, bash the camera while I'm at it. Some tools. Get back in. try not to whack the leg on the camera tripod this time. I've definitely deformed it a bit, but it's still intact. Let's try this tool first. What I'll do is get it in there. Brute force. There we go. Fucking hell. I can see what it was now. There you go, look. 4 lugs. We've broken one of them. Yeah, that goes in there. Obviously it was never meant to come back out again once it was put together. In fact, yeah, it actually says on the label, yes, do not disassemble. Okay. That was a lot of work. A lot more than it should have been. And we still can't see what's inside. There we are. Right, so what have we got here? No discernible reason for this not to be working. Apart from the fact that I've just smashed it to pieces. I see a little thermal cutout. Oh, these are interesting. Now, here in the UK, for viewers in other parts of the world, we have 3-prong plugs. And you know, you have live and earth here, and then there's top one, sorry, live and neutral here, and there's top one is earth. And most sockets that you'll see have these little covers which stop anything being put into these bottom ones that actually carry the electricity until there's something in the earth hole first. And again, that's another safety feature, is that. Now, on some plugs, the earth doesn't do anything, it's just a plastic prong. The appliance doesn't require an earth, but you still have that prong on there. You can't have 2-prong plugs in the UK because it won't work. If you look here, that won't fit anyway, you can't press this screw in. Well, I mean, I can force it in, but you're not going to be able to put an actual appliance in there. Unless something goes in here. And the way it works is, as you press it in, it moves this down and opens up the little holes. How cool is that? Now I'm looking at this, and we have brown is live on UK plugs, and that's that goes through this bottom, which is the thermal cut-off, and then it goes up to these. And you can see the right hand one on each side is live, blue is neutral, that just comes straight and just goes straight to these because then it's connected to the left hand ones, and then yellow and green is earth on UK plugs, that's connected to these top ones. I was expecting to see a loose connection in here, but there isn't one. So the question is, why is it only partly working? What's the plug? pushing that in there. Right, let's see what's going on. I'll show you on this one if I can. This one here, which is the live one, it wobbles. Oh, that's come away now completely. Yeah, if you look, this one, there's a nice grip on it, but these three don't do anything. Just press that back into place. So I think what was happening was I was pressing this into there. Yeah, the earth one makes nice contact, but these, they should be smaller than the prongs on this, so that when you push something into them, they're still touching on either side, but they're not. They're just bent completely out. So yeah, even the larger earth one just wobbles around. When I put something in, they're not making contact. Okay, so that's what's up with it. Now, what can we do about it? I mean, the solution in this case would appear to be relatively simple. We just bend the prongs in. But is that going to be... well, it'll be safe enough. Is it going to be permanent? That is the question. And that also explains why this side wasn't working at all, because both of those bent completely out. This one was only partly working because one of them's still the right shape, the other you just had to jiggle it around. So the question is, do we attempt to bend these prongs back into place? I get the feeling the fact that they're bent out in the first place means that would only ever be temporary. Or do we discard this piece and put a new plug on the end? I'm thinking I'm just going to put a new socket on the end of this. Let's see. Let's just try bending these in. Find a more appropriate tool. Then if we try and put a plug in. See, it's bent it back almost straight away. Right, executive decision time. We're going to forget about having it as a reel. I'm going to pull these components out individually for now. We're going to forget about keeping this as a reel, and we're just going to have it as an extension lead. Now, it's a bit late on a Sunday now. Yeah, all the places are going to be shut, all the shops, because we do that here in the UK, which is a good thing. I'm glad we do that here in the UK. But yeah, what we'll do is we'll get a normal socket on the end and we'll just wire it up. It's as simple as wiring a plug. I'll discard all these contacts when we get to that. I'll find a way of putting this thermal cutout in. What we might have to do is modify the socket that we get so that it houses that as well. Yeah, we'll have to see what we can get once we get to the shops. But that won't be today. So let's just take all this out for now. Right, that's it for today. I've got to try and figure out how to put this button back together now. It's all falling apart on me. Maybe we won't use a thermal cutout after all. Never mind. Bugger it. Deal with that later. Right. We've taken it apart, that's the end of part one. I suppose we'll just go find somewhere to put this. It'll be a couple of days before I can get to the shops now. And yeah, part two, well, it's not going to be a separate video, it's going to be the same video, but yeah, part two, which will be in about 10 seconds time, we'll wire up a new socket to this, and I'll have a new extension lead made from an old one. Alright, see you in 10 seconds. Back to it then. Now, I've been out to Wilko's. It's been a few days since I did the first part of this video. I know it's only a few seconds in it, but I had other stuff to do. We've got, well, I've bought another couple of these boxes. If you want to know why I keep buying these boxes, link will be in the description. Yeah, they're quite cool. £2 each, can't complain. We bought some sweets because I'm a fat bastard, got to keep my figure up. And we've got the bit that we actually went for. Plug socket. I went with a 2 because there was 2 on the other. I could have gone with bigger, I could have just gone with a single one. I thought, screw it, 2 will do. And all we need to do now is wire it up, and we've got an extension lead again. I have decided we're not going to refit the thermal cutout. Now I could, if I wanted, I could sort of drill a hole here, say, and find a way to fit it. But doing a bit of thinking and a bit of reading about it, they fit these to the cassette ones because people have a habit of running them all spooled up, so the wiring sits there and it gets really, really hot. So they put these in as a safety measure. Well, this is no longer a cassette one, so we're not going to have that issue. Also, I always unspool my extension leads anyway whenever I use them. So that part is somewhat redundant now. And if you go out and buy regular extension leads, where it's just plug, wire, and then socket on the end, they never have them. So I don't think we actually need that. So we'll keep the component. It may come in handy some point in the future, but we don't need it on this particular one, so we can get shut of it. And get shut of these copper contacts as well. We only need the wire. So let's get some tools out. We only need a few, and then let's get it rebuilt. Right, so we're going to need screwdrivers, wire strippers. These take the insulation off. They're a bit rusty and crusty, but they still just about work well enough for this. There we go. And these are pliers, but they do have the wire snipping part in the middle as well. That should be all we need for this. No soldering involved. So let's give it a try. Start off, let's open this up and see what we're looking at inside. What on earth? For crying out loud. Oh. Oh, okay, that's interesting. I think there's an extra screw under there. I don't think we're going to need it though. Alright. Put that back together then. Right. That's quite a clever design there by Wilko. You undo these 2 screws and this little cap comes off. And then we're just wiring up this section here, which is no more complicated than, well, wiring a plug. Quite like that. That's a good idea. I thought we were going to have to take the whole thing off, but alright, fine. And yeah, they're nicely marked. Earth, live, neutral. And then this bit here is what holds the wire in place. We'll show you how that works once we get it wired up. Let's prepare our cable for it first. So we'll start, see, this brown wire, the live one, is longer than the other because it's got this bit on it, the thermal cutout. We don't need it to be that long, so we're just going to trim that off there. And like I said, we'll keep that. That may well be useful for any future projects if we need a thermal cutout, because it still works, just that we don't need it for this. So we'll keep that. And we also don't need these connectors on it. Again, I don't know what I'm going to do with them. They're just going to go in my odds and sods box. May come in handy in like 20 years time. But for now we'll just trim them off. And you never know, they might come in handy in the future. I mean, extension leads are surprisingly expensive to buy. I mean, what this used to be, £25 for what? A wire, a plug and a socket. Yeah, you can buy the components generally cheaper and just make it yourself. They're not complicated. So we'll keep those just in case. Whether or not I will ever actually use them, we'll never know. Right, and then with these, now when this tool works brilliantly, it is lovely. So you just put the wire in. There we go. Now you could do that with a pair of pliers or snips, but you have to get the pressure just right so that you're cutting the insulation and not the wiring inside, and then pull it away. But it's a lot of effort, and it can be done well. I can do it, but I've reached a point where I want the correct tools for the job half the time, and this is the correct tool for the job. Look at that. And you just twist the end off. I always give the ends a twist. One more time, up close. So you put your wire in there. See how it grips it? And that's it. It's taking the perfect amount off. But you can, if you want, you could then feed it further in if you wanted to take more off and keep going. But that's perfectly fine as it is. Right, let's get it plugged into this now. So to start, we need to take that bit off. All the plugs that I've wired, these screws have always been different to the ones that hold the socket together. They're normally self-tappers, so yeah, don't get them mixed up. In this case, they're different sizes, obvious, but yeah, always keep those, don't lose them. Then all we are going to do is line this up, so we want earth at the top, live in the middle, and then neutral goes at the bottom. Remember, if you need to run earth, normally has the green bit in, it's green and yellow. Brown is live, so you could say brown bread dead, live electricity. And then the only one left is blue, which is neutral. Need a different screwdriver to undo these. Don't have to undo these all the way, because the screws in these contacts are actually quite small and fiddly, and if you drop them or lose them, you're buggered. So all we do is poke it in the little hole, like that, and then you tighten it down. Doesn't have to be mega tight. All it's doing is holding the wire. There we go. There we go, done properly. Push that in. There we are, that's where we want it to grip it. Just got to screw this back in. There we are. And you can see now, that little bit is now gripping that. That won't come out, which means these connections are safe from being pulled. You know, if it's dropped or dragged, the stress point is there. Yeah, that's not coming out. Right, put it back together. There we go. Easy as that. Right, let's go find something to plug into it. Test it, and away we go. Right, I was looking around for an appliance to plug into it, and it turns out there was one just right next to me that I can use. We'll use the old battery charger. It's knackered anyway, which is why I have a new one sitting here, but it will still give us an indication. So not completely knackered, but it's no longer useful. It doesn't put out enough voltage. So we shall put that in there, and alright. Power light is on. It seems to be working. Let's check on the old voltmeter. I know it's not a voltmeter, it's a multimeter, but sue me. That is doing what it did before. That's the reason I'm throwing it out. It's only putting out 11 volts. Try it in the other socket. Same result. Red power light is on. Yeah, same thing. Excellent. 2 working sockets again. That's what we like. Right. So that is... I haven't thought of the title for the video yet. Building a new extension lead from a knackered old one. Yeah, that can be the title. Right, let's go out and put it to use then. I've got batteries need charging and a new battery charger. Let's go do that.